Hey everybody, welcome to the first round of 4 at the Portland Open presented by Dynamic Discs. We're about halfway through the year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We're out on the West Coast. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and we're your 2 hot geese.
Honk, reunited at last. The first 2 rounds of the event we play at Blue Lake Park. It's in northern Portland, Oregon, right on the Columbia River. We get to watch Kona, Panis, Paige Pierce, Valerie Mandujano, and Hansen work this course. This might be our only day with no rain, so let's enjoy it.
Yeah, it was beautiful today. Blue Lake is such a great track. We had the tournament here in 2019, and of course, Worlds was here in, I believe, 2014.
Hole 1 is a daunting low ceiling 355-foot hole. It caters to the players that have that really low linear power that carries, and a little ground play doesn't hurt at the end. There is out of bounds on the right and left, but it doesn't come into play unless you catch a tree.
First up on the tee, playing out of Rancho Cucamonga, California, Kona star Panis.
Kona took 6th at this event last year, which was played at Glendoveer, which is a new golf course that was added last year, kind of last minute, and that's where the final 2 rounds of this tournament will be.
But on a redesigned course from last year.
True.
Same property,
Next on the tee,
new holes.
playing out of Plano, Texas, Paige Pierce.
This shot is a fairly straightforward hyzering finish type of a shot, so you just want to throw something with some overstability and just let the disc do the work at the end. You can get a flex in there as well that would to help get some more distance, but you really do have to push that ceiling to get all the way down there.
This looks really good if it misses that tree. Still a good drive.
Next on the box, out of Universal City, Texas, it's Valerie Mondujano.
Valerie took 8th place here last year. Of course, I forgot to mention Paige did win this event last year.
That is one of the more common errors you will see off this tee shot, trying to put it too high.
FPO division out of Seattle, Washington. Let's hear it for Hansen.
Seen a ton of Ella this year so far. She played well at Masters Cup, OTB. She just won her first A tier at SeaTac. I don't remember the name of the event. I think SeaTac Takeoff last week.
She's got huge distance on her drives. I think we're going to see her shred Glendoveer. I'm interested to see how she attacks Blue Lake.
Yeah, Blue Lake, distance can help, but also it's a lot of careful placement and just staying in bounds. So sometimes getting greedy and throwing huge shots can get you into trouble.
The OB here is not forgiving. Lots of thorns. You might not get your disc back.
Solid little approach from Valerie. Paige probably giving this a little go.
You can see even with Paige having her huge distance, she kept that a little too low. It didn't quite get the carry. This hole is tough to birdie, but there were 3 on the weekend, or on the day. Rebecca Cox, Juliana Corver, and Natalie Ryan getting 2s on this. Huge.
Juliana and Rebecca were both on my card. I was like, is it that easy?
How long were their putts? Like, circle 2?
In the circle.
In
both
the
of them.
circle.
Rebecca was parked, actually.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Looking like some no-nonsense pars to start here. Definitely a bonus birdie with that low ceiling. Oh, I'm sorry, Kona bogeyed. Oh, I always do that. Hole 2 is a very straightforward par 3. There's out of bounds left and right, and that far right tree is a mandatory. It's 425, so it's pretty tough to reach.
Y'all check out the top left corner. We got new 2 Hot Geese vintage dad hats and bucket hats. These things are sweet. They fit really well. And check out our cute little simplified logo. We're excited about them. We hope you guys are too. Can't wait to see y'all rocking them out on the course.
2 simple geese.
Anything but. Yeah, that Mando tree is just to keep you from going out over the road because it is a heavily trafficked road. So, of course, it brings that out-of-bounds line on the left-hand side into play. Looks like
Paige kind of just disking down, it looked like, and playing for par.
Not trying to do anything crazy.
I think that's smart. Even with an enormous rip, you're like maybe in circle 2.
Yeah, 425 is kind of a funny distance for an FPO par 3. I would be surprised if we did see birdies on the weekend, but if one person could, it'd be this girl right here. Look at Ella right on the edge of circle 1, giving herself a look for that 2.
That was her DD3. Kona a little nervous. There's that Mando tree, and she hits it.
I didn't see it come down.
And then
Oh,
she did miss the mandatory, so she'll have to go from the drop zone right next to it and parked it for her bogey. It must have just filtered through the tree and just missed the line.
the new mandatory rules are if you miss that mandatory line even with an inch of your disc, just a piece of your disc, it counts as a missed mando, which is new this year.
So Valerie, Ella, and Paige with pars, and Kona with a bogey. Bit of a rough start through 2.
Hole 3 is a pretty sweet par 4. You want to throw something at that tree on the right-hand side, let it filter. This is right around the corner, and it lines you up down this tunnel fairway towards this very tightly OB-lined green. It gets really narrow on that second shot, so a lot of people might lay up to the bottleneck and then just pitch up to the green. You'll notice we don't have drone footage on this coverage. The city of Portland did not allow drones in the park, so no one was able to get that sweet drone footage. So we're going to be looking at these cool screenshots in the meantime.
Slowly zoom in on them. You get the idea, right? Mm-hmm. Paige, so the common mistake, I wouldn't even call it a mistake, but it's really hard not to push too far straight, and then it cuts off your second shot. It takes a very perfectly placed drive to be able to attack this for birdie. A lot of people are just going to pitch up to the mouth of the tunnel and take a par.
Ella doing just that, pushing a little too far straight. She will likely not be going for this bottleneck shot. It would even be an Anheuser turnover type shot from where Ella landed.
A couple years ago, they kind of had a window across the OB on the right side that you could take if you push too straight, but everything's grown in so much.
Yeah, it's lush out here.
Everything's popping, all the flowers.
Lush and boggy and muddy.
Yeah, so everyone inbounds with good shots, but we're probably going to see just 4 pitch-ups. You can see the basket through that tunnel there. The OB gets a little tight. Valerie's actually maybe pushing the edge of it.
Oh,
she is out of bounds.
Right on that corner.
Yeah, that's key to just leave it short enough not to go out of bounds.
Ella forced to throw a sidearm to the gap. She also was close to that out of bounds, but she looks like she checks up right before.
Yeah, she might have kind of a bit of an awkward angle, but it's really not very far to get to the pin.
Kona also throwing a sidearm. Catches that tree. It's going to make her third shot a little tough, but in reality, it's not so bad.
I don't know. Ella's is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Kona might have trouble.
Okay.
Paige with a fierce, and that looked like a good layup. Did she get through the tunnel? I kind of lost it. We'll see. All right. See, yeah, Kona.
Ooh, it is pinched.
Yeah. She sneaks through, but isn't even able to get to circle 2.
This plate is the third most difficult hole on the day.
Yeah, it takes 2 very special shots to get any kind of look at this. I wonder.
50% of the field taking a bogey or worse.
Wow.
And about 50% taking a par. There was only 1 birdie on the day.
Paige lands just outside the bullseye for a par. Ella does the same.
I'm guessing it's straight out with mine.
Yuge Lorenzen got a 3 on this one.
Very cool. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, I wonder where her drive. She had probably really aggressively pushed that corner. Ooh,
So
Val's lies.
Yeah, so she used that rule where you can go back as far as you want, essentially, from where you went out of bounds, but it's still left quite a tight angle. And she's pretty short for her bogey look. One inch too high. Man, double bogeys happen pretty quick out here.
Oh, yeah, it's with the OB everywhere, all the way down both sides of the fairway on every hole.
Yeah, you can never relax, can you?
You can't really make a mistake and not count on it kind of turning into a bogey. It's really tough to save a par.
Yeah, staying in bounds out here is just so key. There's plenty of birdies out here, but par is great on any hole. Bogey for Ella, double for Valerie, bogey for Kona, Paige with the only par there. Let's see what's up.
UK really, 3 down through 7 is wonderful
Yeah,
out
it's
of Blue
fire.
Lake. What a great way to start. Natalie Ryan, 2 down through 4. She was on my card and she was solid right out of the gate. Juliana coming off a strong weekend last weekend as well and doing the same here. Being under par, like Erika said, is solid as a rock here.
Yeah, Juliana and Rebecca were really clean today. Hole 4 is probably the easiest par 3 out here at 295. It's really just straight ahead of you. The out of bounds does tighten up on the left side if you hyzer out, and there's a really big, what is that, a fir tree on the right that kind of eats your disc if you throw into it. I kind of like disking down to like maybe a mid-range here. I think that's a buzz from Paige, just to make sure you don't like penetrate into out of bounds or into that tree too deeply, like if you go fairway driver. We'll
Yeah,
see.
you don't want a lot of ground action because that green is skippy / muddy, but it's flat ground, not thick grass like everywhere else, and it can skip.
Oof, that was a link, which I believe is a Discmania putter, right? From Ella.
I believe.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Throwing the putter just like the ultimate lid. Kona taking the hyzer line. She pushes a little bit too deep. She will be caught up in the fir tree.
Are you?
Asking those existential questions.
This isn't the time. That was an evader, so fairway driver from Valerie.
Blue Lake does make you feel like that, though. If you
Who
get
am I?
If you get a little off, you just start to question everything. It's tough.
Like, kind of like that.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, it's a good out.
It was a great out. She gives herself a look to save par. Oh, so much metal.
Yeah, a little short, splash out.
These dynamic disc baskets require you to hit dead center and low for them to stick. High is no bueno.
Paige with a decent birdie attempt there.
23% of the field taking a birdie on this hole.
Nice. Gotta give a quick shout out here. Our tournament coverage is actually sponsored by Fortnite, so click the link in the pinned comment to check out Fortnite Zero Build. If you're old like me, the no building is really nice.
Thanks, Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the symbol of excellence. What you think is irrelevant. Where I walk is the evidence, and I'm highly intelligent. I'm the queen of my warriors, leaders so bad. I got the power, the loyalty, and the respect. Now hold your crown up. I got the power. I got the power. I got the power, and I'm not done. And I'm not done yet. Power.
It was important for me to partner with a retailer that could help with growing my brand and making my products available all over the country and across the world. Flight Factory has helped me accomplish that. Check out all of my gear and thousands of other discs at Flight Factory.
So the slammer, it doesn't fly as far as the harp, but that's exactly what I designed it for. It was designed for me to be able to throw hard with the real severe angles, a lot of flex shots, and it's a unique spot in the bag. So that's why I think it's becoming so popular.
Hole 5 is a sharp right turning hole. It's 575 feet off the drive. Right here you have this shot to look at over this hill where you want to throw a turnover that finishes gently back to the left, but that out of bounds under those big trees on the left hand side comes in really tight and definitely can come into play on that second shot if you don't turn it over enough. So the key here is to get as far as you can on that first shot to really open up your second shot to the green.
Kind of the first time you really get to open up on the course.
Ella might be pushing that out of bounds line deep.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh, is she in? I think she might be in. That was an enigma. And that's so far. The benefit of pushing that far is you actually can see the basket from over there. Basically, if you get to the old tee pad we used to play at, you can kind of see on the left near that short tree. You can then see the pin. If you land short like Valerie just did, it's a blind shot over the hill and it's pretty risky because the OB is pretty tight on the left as you get close to the pin.
There was a tailwind / I believe it was a right to left crosswind that makes that second shot a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it was great for the first shot.
Paige going hyzer way far on the right side and it works out.
That works out so well. I think that was a passion, and she just absolutely ripped it.
Kona gets over the top of it, but it'll still land safe. She's just going to be really extremely close to that hill, making that second shot very hard not to throw nose up.
I think this is super smart. Oh, wait. I think a forehand is super smart. That's what I thought she was throwing. The backhand is a little bit riskier because it fades towards out of bounds, but what control with that.
That is such a hard shot.
It's unbelievable.
I wish
that was a Ballista Pro, too.
I wish that you guys understood how amazing that shot was. Ugh, unbelievable.
Yeah, most people aren't attacking from there. They're just like pitching up and taking a par.
Yes. Especially with the wind. Ella forced to just chip around the corner. She's pinched. Paige able to throw a hyzer into the green, but it looks like she might be blind to the basket.
She might be able to see it. I think this is a Buzz OS.
Oh, there. Yeah, she can.
Maybe not. Maybe it was just a fierce. Didn't really fade. She is inside the circle for her birdie putt.
Man, Valerie's shot just blew my mind.
I know.
That was such a tough position, such a hard angle.
Again, I mean, take most of the field and put them in that spot, and they're not thinking, oh, I can birdie this still, you know?
Yeah.
Kona doing what I think is the very smart shot and throwing a forehand to fade away from the out of bounds.
That was a great shot. It's hard not to push too far deep there, but she gets a lot of forward momentum with that nice hyzer angle on it.
Ella's third is pretty parked. Great gallery for a Thursday morning. Like, there was so many people out early for something like this. Who doesn't want to watch a big birdie putt from Paige Pierce?
Paige, one of only 4 people to get the birdie here.
See if Kona can do it.
Just a little bit low. Valerie also with a birdie look.
Ugh, I wanted that for her.
Juliana Korber, Vanessa Van Dyken, and UK Lorenzen also finding 3s.
I'm surprised there weren't a few more. I mean, it's hard, but distance-wise reachable. Which is kind of the story of Blue Lake.
Yeah, I feel like this, when you play in practice, you're like, man, I could birdie a lot of these holes. But then you get out here and you start messing up, and then you start questioning, and then you're like, wait, these fairways are kind of tight.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you don't play as aggressive as you would just loosey-goosey in a practice round.
As we always play. Hole 6 is an uphill par 3, 270 feet. It's really grown in from the last couple of years. It's not that far, but if you throw a little left or right or a little too high, you can find that out of bounds, which is so punishing because you have to throw from pretty far back on the fairway. super attackable. It definitely throws more like 300 uphill.
As long as you make it about 200 and I'd say 40 feet, if you're left, right, or way too far past the basket, you're going to be okay.
That's true.
It's all about blasting one up this hill and making sure you get over that out of bounds. You can see short.
Which Paige does nicely.
I think we'll see some people throwing mids here. I think Paige definitely did. Ella taking that wide hyzer route that she feels very comfortable with.
That was a splice. Valerie going Raider. You're going to see everything from mid-ranges to fairways to distance drivers. So whatever you feel comfortable with, just crunch
straight.
one up there.
If you turn one over, there is a bush on the right-hand side that can come into play. Kona misses it. That's one of the only backboards that can really keep you from crossing into that safe zone.
That was a great shot from Kona. It was her Maverick.
Wow. Oh, that was too many chains
Dirty.
to not stick.
Looked like it hit the pole and bounced out or something. I hate that.
Ugh.
I hate when it sounds good.
Yes.
And like maybe you don't see it and you're confused why it's not in the basket.
Yeah, I think every chain was moving.
That's a great birdie putt from Paige to get her to 2 down on the round.
34% of the field getting birdies today.
Very nice.
Huge.
There's another one. Ella getting to 1 under. Looked like it spit through the chains. Kona's gonna have to settle for par.
Yeah, these new dynamic disc baskets have a little bit heavier chains than the previous model, but there's still just not a lot of chains. It's I feel like I've seen some spit throughs, but it is nice to have some heavier chains to knock it down into the basket. Hole 7 is one of the most beautiful fairways on the property, in my opinion. You have to throw through a tighter gap, but then it opens up on your second shot, surrounded by these huge, beautiful trees. Being on the right-hand side is slightly better, but left-hand side does not hurt you. You just have to contend with more trees. Most ladies are going to be able to have a putt for birdie on this par 5. There is out of bounds all the way down the left-hand side if you do filter too far down there, but generally it's wide enough that you're not really worrying about it too much.
As long as you get your first couple shots through cleanly, you're probably going to have a birdie look. Paige gets great distance. She might be behind that tree a little bit. We'll see how much of a run-up she has. This is a cloud breaker. Fading pretty hard to the left, but that's totally fine. And good distance.
Yeah, as long as she got past that big, low,
She did.
hanging tree branches, she is A-okay. Kona wanting that to flex out a little bit more. She'll be tucked to the right side in that bush. Might not be able to get as much distance as she wants on her second shot. But there is room to recover with the par 5.
Valerie with a trespass in a solid spot.
Is played as the second easiest hole of the day for the FPO field, averaging just under par.
Yeah, I really like these distance-wise. Again, not so hard. Pretty much everyone out here can get them. But you see some more of the technicality and decision-making of landing zones than difficulty with out of bounds. It's an interesting course to watch.
I wonder if Ella was trying to poke through those trees and get right of them. Most people stay inside of those trees on the left-hand side of the fairway.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but she stayed in bounds and is way up there.
Kona having to throw from a knee, and she gets out in the middle. She can easily save a birdie from here.
Yeah,
Even.
totally. That was great distance from a stance like that.
Valerie has all the room to really be able to open up on this second shot.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. Orbit grace, center cut. Paige with maybe more of an Anheuser, or at least a straight shot. Can't draw it up much better than that.
Kona looking to be about 200 feet out from the green, maybe a little bit more than that. After that difficult second shot, and look at that, inside the
solid.
circle.
That would be a great birdie after finding some trouble off the tee. Valerie with not quite a pitch up, just outside of pitch up range. Is there a word for that yet? Let's make one up.
Chump up. She's right outside the circle for her birdie look.
Ella for eagle. What do you think? Running it? Just kidding. She's definitely just laying up.
Wow.
That's a good touch out and around the trees.
Yeah, it's kind of nice over there.
I actually, have played on the right side of those trees intentionally before because it's pretty open and leaves you a hyzer.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends on where you land. Paige throwing kind of a flippy forehand. A little overturned, but I think she's just inside the circle. Valerie for her birdie just outside.
Woo.
Cash.
Those jump putts are looking good.
Mm-hmm.
So solid.
Oh,
let's-
yeah.
Let's watch it in slow-mo. GK replay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I like it's got the little own wobble.
Paige a little low left on her birdie. Ella with a clean putt for her birdie. Gets down to 2 down. Kona for a long birdie look. Too low.
Paige for par. Nice little comeback putt. Kona doing the same here. And that was a great recovery from that early tree tee shot.
Yeah, just to have a look at a birdie from there was solid. I'm sure she doesn't quite feel that way, but hole 8 is a difficult par 3. It's only 315 feet, so we'll probably see most of these ladies go for it. Those dead tree trunks you see are in that out of bounds ditch, so you really have to throw probably an anhyzer of some sort to get all the way across. Some ladies are going to lay up short and then pitch over and just take a par. There is a drop zone on short right that really only leaves you kind of a forehand approach if you are out of. Is it anywhere out of bounds off the tee?
No.
Or is it just an option of the drop zone?
It's an option.
Yeah.
Made it over.
So Ella choosing to go with the sidearm gap. And the one nice thing about this hole is there's a lot of space on that left-hand side. If you want to try to go ahead and get over on the short end.
Whoa, look at this.
Wow.
That's one of the better drives I've seen. And not a lot of ladies have the power like Ella does to get a forehand across like that. So let's see. Valerie threw Ballista Pro.
All right, missed that.
And Ella just threw a PD, which is interesting. Paige, unfortunately, out of bounds, and we'll have to take it short. It was a headwind on this hole, and if you didn't start it far enough left, that is such a common mistake on this hole to have it turn over.
There is enough room short left where you can even throw a hyzer at these trees in the middle and just not give yourself a putt. But you know these ladies are trying to get in the hunt for a birdie here.
It's hard to get a backhand there, though. But what you really are going to see is a lot of pitch sidearms like that. Paige actually giving it a run from back there, it seemed like. She lands a little short, but...
Even though this hole is 315 feet, it's still the second most difficult hole of the day, and that shows you just how much OB you're having to deal with. And how perfectly in the landing zone it really is. But Ella's sidearm turned out so well. She gave herself a putt.
This is the best drive I've seen on this hole by far.
100%.
Please do it.
For everyone. I wonder if she was the only look of the day. There were no
I'm
birdies.
sure there were very few. Because even if you get across, often what you see is landing kind of where Ella was.
From what I can tell, one person landed in circle 1 in regulation off the tee, and only 4 people landed in circle 2. So, I mean, this one's hard to get to.
Yeah. Kona keeping it to a bogey with a bit of a tester putt. Paige doing the same. Ella with a nice stress-free par. Valerie with a par as well, even for the round.
Hole 9 is kind of a blind fairway here. You can't see the middle where you want to land right here in this big open bubble. Your second shot, you're throwing over a lot of out of bounds or over up this very narrow pinched bottleneck of a fairway to a little bubble of safe green area. This one is very birdieable.
Yeah, this is one of the few that if you don't birdie it, you're like, what am I doing?
It was the easiest hole on the course statistically as well.
Yeah, at 515, it's not very much distance if you get a decent drive to just pitch something up. And Ella's way down there. Like, that's just a little putter approach probably from there.
Yeah, she could even be jump putting almost.
But with that kind of out of bounds bubble, kind of keyhole looking out of bounds, if you try to carry the out of bounds, you can end up having to, take it from the short side and really easily bogey. And we saw Valerie almost find out of bounds there as well. So even though it's short, again, it's not, easy. It's not a gimme.
No, you can't see the fairway from here either. So you're just trusting what you looked at in the caddy book and what you practiced.
Well, they have spectators lining the line for them.
Oh, advantage.
Where were they when we threw? They're all looking like some quality shots, big distance.
Ooh, Kona's way down there,
They're
too.
all way down there, dude. Valerie.
Standstill putter shot. Just got to make sure you keep that high.
Just a nice Warden pitch up to 12 feet. Beautiful. And that was the farthest. Like, look at these. Just little baby pitch ups. A lot of the field are not going to be that far and are going to have more of like a mid-range approach. Like, look at this. Putt it, Kona. Just put it in. It looks like a decently controlled sidearm.
Yeah, she's so money with those sidearm approaches.
Paige with a crystal fierce.
Little soft bid.
Yeah, I like the effort. I think it's fun to run those. If you can stay pretty close if you miss them.
Great birdie from Kona to close out the back 9.
Yeah, she had a bit of a rough start, but, one birdie, you can start building momentum pretty quickly out here.
And in reality, most of these holes are birdieable by a lot of the FPO field.
Very true.
That's what makes this course very fun, but also very demanding mentally.
Looking like a star frame. Ella moving to 3 down through 9. Paige is 2. Valerie to go 1. Pretty clean front 9 from our feature card. Again, Kona having some trouble. We'll see if she can clean it up on the back. Let's take a look. Little recap.
Lots of green on this scorecard. I think we'll see just as much on the back 9 as well. Ellen, Paige, and Valerie only with 1 blemish hole on their front 9. Wow. And they're all under par. And that is what you want to be out here at Blue Lake. Especially with the rain coming in tomorrow, you want to
score today.
Yeah, you want to shoot your birdies out here today. And look at Juliana Korver getting those birdies through 10 holes in the lead out the gate. Everyone in the top 10 under par. And I guess that is what is necessary out here.
Yeah. Yep.
You see Valerie slipping down a little bit, but she's still not far out of the lead. Paige
it's
as
tight.
well.
Yeah, okay, we did it. That was the front 9. Please join us for the back here at the Portland Open. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.